All right, so for today's class, we're going to start getting introduced to the Fusion 360 program. So once you've got it open, the first thing we need to do is know how to save and save our document. So that's what we're going to start with. So at the top left corner, there's a save button. If you click on that, you can title your project. So we're just going to call this S3 video Fusion 360 lesson 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and click and save it. And then it's just going to show me that I've got it labeled there. Once that's done, the first thing we're going to do is start making different components. So we're going to compartmentalize the product that we're making so that we can break it apart very easily in the future. So to do this, I'm going to right click onto the project we're working here, and it has new component. Or you can go up to the create button here and click on new component. Either way, it doesn't matter, you can click on there. And then I'm going to label, we're going to be making a stool, just a very standard basic stool. So the first component is going to be the seat where you sit down on. I'm going to call that seat. Push OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make two more components for the two legs that I'm going to have as well. Now, when I go to make this, if I go to create and click component, new component again, what's going to happen? Say I type in here leg 1. It's going to create that leg underneath of the seat component. It's combined into there. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to actually undo what I just did there. I want you to make sure that you've selected back to the whole project and the little circle that goes on outside of here. Without doing that, you're still going to be underneath of the seat component. So then you're going to go ahead and create a new component again, and this one's going to be called leg 1. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Make sure you click on the overall project first, and then create a new component again. We're going to label this one leg 2. Push OK. The next thing I want to do is set up my document settings in terms of measurements. So over here it says document settings. If you click the little arrow, it tells you the units you're going to be working in. So if you double click on here, you can change the units to whatever you want. So say it was millimeters, push OK. But actually what I want you guys to be working in is centimeters. So please click on centimeters and push OK. So now we're set up, we can actually start designing. So we're going to be making a pretty standard stool, like I said. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on the seat. So I'm going to click on the seat. I'm going to click on the little circle in front of it to know that I'm working in just the seat dimension. Now I'm going to now go ahead and create my sketch. It's helpful that if your view is on an angle kind of so you can see the different planes. So for example, when I go to click on create sketch, you can see the different planes that are up here. I want to be on the horizontal plane, so I'm going to click on here, and it will bring it out in front of you so you're working from a bird's eye view. After that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our seat, and we're going to do a circular seat. So I've got this surface button up here, circle, diameter circle, center diameter circle. Click on that, and then I'm going to start right in the center, click it, and just pull out my mouse, and it's going to give you different dimensions. Now we're doing like a miniature model, so it's not going to be life size. So the numbers I have will be something that we can fit on our laser cutter here at school. So we're going to make this seat just 21.5 centimeters. Oops, 21. Why is it not doing that? 21.5. Didn't work for some reason. Anyways, double click it. 21.5. And there we go. So again, if you want to change that, you can just double click it very easily and adjust. So now we've got the seat done. That's pretty much all we needed to do. So the last part we're going to do is we're going to say finish sketch. So on the top right hand side, you can see the green button that says finish sketch. Click on that, and it will bring your view back out like so. At this point, we're going to extrude it. So our material is not paper thin like this. It is actually, we're working with plywood for our class. We're going to be working with 1 cm plywood. So I'm going to extrude it with a button up here. And I'm going to extrude it a total in just one direction. I'm going to do that a distance of 1 centimeter. So I'm just going to type in 1. And then there it goes. It extrudes our seat to have a 1 centimeter thickness. So that looks great. Again, you can play with your view over here if you so wish to. Now we've got the seat done, we're going to work on the leg. So I'm going to click on the first leg. In today's class, we're just going to get it started. We're not even going to finish it, but I want you to get familiar with learning how to operate a lot of these different functions in 360. So click on the leg. Remember, it's always important you need to click that little button. We're going to go ahead and create a sketch again. This time we're not going to work on a horizontal but a vertical axis. So I'm going to click on here. And you'll notice that it brings up the picture of the seat behind here. You can grab a little hand button at the bottom here, which allows you to move your diagram all around on the page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to pull the seat in or project it into our current drawing so that we can work with it and it all lines up when we finish drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and take the select tool at the top here, and I'm just going to select that seat. You don't want to select just the line above or the line below, but you want to click on the whole seat. Then if you go to create over here, go down to project, and then you can project that in. Or if you know the short keys already, you could just push the letter P. It's already selected that geometrical shape because we selected it earlier. We're going to just say OK now. And you can see it's been projected in by these purple lines and nodes at the end. So next what we're going to do is we're going to draw some lines, and there's a sketch palette that will show up on your screen here. And you need to make sure that we're going to be doing some construction lines first. So we're going to select that. So over here under line type, you can click on construction, and that will allow me to just put some lines down to help me when I go about constructing. So now I'm going to go click on the line tool, and I'm going to draw from the center point down, and I'm just going to make sure I'm 90 degrees here on the one side, but I'm going to type in the number 30 here, and then it's just going to draw that line to be 30 centimeters long. Now that's plenty long. It's longer than what I needed, but I'd rather it be a little longer than not long enough. Okay, now I'm just moving it up into a better view for you. I'm going to draw another line, so I'm just going to push the letter L on my keyboard. You can see that my line thing has been highlighted up here. And this time I'm going to draw a line from the top node of the seat, and I'm going to draw it down. I wanted to draw it down for a total of 27 centimeters. So I can just type in the number 27, and then it will draw that line. Now you see it's putting the dimension on these. These can be helpful sometimes, but I'm going to just pull it to the outside so it's not in the way of my working drawings that I'm going to be doing. So I've got my two outside lines. I'm also going to do one along the top here. Actually, I don't know if yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to draw one more construction line just across. I can delete it later if I don't need it, so it doesn't hurt having it there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw more lines, but these are going to actually be the stool lines. So I don't need them to be construction lines because construction lines won't show up or be cut out or created our product that we're designing here. So I'm going to go back and click on the line type so that it's no longer construction. It will make it a solid line. And then click on the line. And I'm just going to pick somewhere, not the top of the line, but underneath of the seat, the line there, somewhere, and then I'm going to connect it to my point down here. Okay. When you're done, you need to make sure that you push escape or enter so that you don't keep pulling lines out afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and draw another line, and I'm going to connect it here. Now, if I hold down my mouse button, you'll notice here that I've created a curved line. So some of my students have worked on the past, and they're like, my line won't go straight. It's because you're holding down the mouse button. So just push escape and then do that again. And this time when you do it, you just need to make sure that you don't hold the click button when you're doing it, because that's what's going to happen, okay? You can also go backwards, undo line, until you get it going perfectly like you want. So we're going to draw a line, something like that, and then remember, don't forget to push enter or escape afterwards. Now I want to teach you how to do some dimensioning. So to dimension, there's a dimension tool here, sketch dimension. Click on that, and then I can click on just the line. It will dimension that whole line, and I can pull it down. Once I click on it, I can also set how long I want it to be, and I only want this to be 4.5 centimeters long. So that will adjust that for us. Next, what I want to do is I want to actually set how close I'm looking in over here. So I'm just zooming in. You can use the magnifying glass and the hand to help you adjust, move it around. I'm going to use that same dimension tool now, and I'm going to click the 2 points. I don't have a line that's drawn between here, but I have these 2 points because I want to make sure that the dimensions between these 2 points, once I click them, I pull up, it's going to tell me how far away it is. And I want to set it so that it's a certain distance. I want it only to be 3 centimeters. Okay, so now it will pull the line back so that it adjusts to that accordingly. So now we can see the top of our stool. We have the side coming down over across. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to draw another line. And this line, I'm not sure, it's going to be just across like this. I don't know how long or anything. Don't forget to push enter or escape after. But I want to dimension because from the top of the stool to this line here, I want to pull that over. I want that to be exactly 9 centimeters. So we'll just shift it up. Now the last line I'm going to draw is alpha line. I'm going to click on this node and this node to connect it for my thing. Push enter. Now it doesn't look like that's maybe the best leg. I want it to be parallel with the outside, so I'm just going to grab the parallel tool at the top here, click on the outside line and this line, and it will draw it parallel and adjust all the other lines accordingly. So now you can see we have this line going around our stool that we can now start to see the leg coming together. What we'll do in the following classes, we're going to learn to mirror it, but we're also going to add in a part to connect it to our seat. But for today's class, that's what I wanted you to get through, just some learning basics of how everything works. Do go ahead, create it 1 or 2 times so that you are comfortable with it. You should be able to make this whole thing within 5-10 minutes about what I've shown you here today. All right, thank you.